Cravante, this NFL draft profile was per request of one of our famous, illustrious, loving Flex Zone family members who supports everything we do. He suggested one of the players on this list of profiles, Landon Jackson, who I wasn't all the way familiar with. Cravante, you were. Shout out to Alex. How do you feel about this prospect, Landon Jackson? And when you stumbled across it, because he reached out to us, how did you feel about it?
Um, Very underrated. Nothing too flashy about him. But he is bring your pail, bring your lunch pail to work. He looks like a construction worker, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? That looks like what he does. And you he can be overlooked in a class such as this, especially him playing defensive line and playing edge. He is one that some folks would overlook.
Well, let's get the numbers on Mr. Jackson. He is from the University of Arkansas, 6'6", out of Texas, a senior. 6'6", 33 and 1/4 inch arms, very good. 264, 10-inch hands, senior. As I mentioned, 4'6", 840, 165, 10, 40 and a half inch vertical Cravante, 10'9" broad jump. 2021, he was at LSU, played in 5 games on special teams, had a knee injury. So this was suffered in his senior year of high school, affected him as a freshman. 2022, played in all 13 games with Arkansas, 7 starts, 23 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 PBU, pass broken up, 1 forced fumble, a blocked kick. 2023, first team all SEC, 13 and a half tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, 12 games, 44 tackles, 1 pass broken up, added 40 pounds to his frame, Cavante, before the season. You know, I like those little nuggets. In this past year, 2024, he was second team all SEC, led the team with 6.5 sacks, time for the team lead, 9.5 tackles for loss, started 12 games, 49 tackles, 3 PBUs, a forced fumble, and another blocked kick. He didn't play in the Liberty Bowl win over Texas Tech, but nobody plays in bowl games. But Cavante, this brother seems like a sleeper.
Yes, so yeah, he's definitely one that could get overlooked very easily. But him being at what height, Byron? 6'6".
Yeah, 6'6", 33 and 1/4 inch arms.
So um obviously great length if he's going to play on the defensive line, especially on the edge. Great length. And he uses it well to be able to stack blockers. Great play strength. He's damn good at setting the edge. We forget that aspect of it a lot because a lot of folks are a big stat guys and stat people, like, oh, how many sacks, you know what I'm saying? What's the chance of him getting X amount of sacks this year? And that's how we, try to measure how good a player was. But setting the edge is huge in the running game. It stops outside runs, and it forces running backs to uh, go back inside where everybody is. Um, that doesn't show up on a stat sheet, but it shows up on a highlight reel, and that's something that he does very well. Um, Something else, high motor, never giving up, never stopping. He is one of those where he could probably get a lot of coverage sacks. You know what I'm saying? Just the quarterback just holding the ball for a long time, can't find nobody, and then eventually it's like, oh yeah, here comes Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Um, but he never absolutely never gives up on a play. And he has a few pass rush moves that I believe he's currently, still developing.
Any weaknesses, like you said, and why would a guy like this with the measurables that he has be kind of a guy that's maybe a day 2 selection?
Um, his burst off the line is not great. He's more of a guy who's uh you build up to his top speed instead of just the quick burst off the line of scrimmage. And him being 6'6", can be a negative because it's easier to get under his pads. Um, because he's so tall and it takes so much effort to get low. average person not 6'6". Well, the average lineman might be around 6'6", and they'll just go head up. But it's easier to achieve leverage against somebody who is 6'6". Um, average bend, shoulder dip, that all those things are average. He's not elite, no, by no stretch of the imagination, which is probably why he probably gets forgotten about. And with that average bend is limited athleticism as well, because being able to bend and hit those corners. I don't know what his 3-cone was, but those are the things that guys are really looking for as edge rushers, being able to bend your body in ways that you probably shouldn't be able to bend, and being able to track down the ball carrier, and that's whether the running back or the quarterback.
So, Cravante, as we know in this new age of measurables, a lot of guys don't do a lot of drills. No 3-cone, no 20-yard shuttle, and no bench press. I like to see the guys do the bench press, but I guess they don't want to do it anymore. They don't want to get their hair dirty, sweat their hair out or something. I don't know.
It's funny because he don't have any hair.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, I mean, I can't get up there and lift 225 30 times, but, if I could, I'd be showing it off.
Sure do it. Sure would. Absolutely.
Pro comp, Cravante, and then let's play America's favorite game show. Where does he go? Because I think he is a day 2 guy, but we could have, I guess, maybe what, double digit pass rush? I mean, we could play the game, but how many pass rushes are going in the first round? 10?
Oof. Man. Shoot, gosh. Now I'm thinking about it. Definitely a handful. Because now I'm thinking about it. All right, we got Abdul Carter. Well, no, let me do the pro comp first before we get into that. Had a couple of them. I had Carlos Dunlap and Emmanuel Ogba. Just guys that are not flashy guys. They do the grunt work, they do the dirty work, high motor guys. That's what I see out of Mr. Jackson here.
And he
But
blocks kicks too a lot of block kicks.
6'6", put him right in the middle. So wow, edge rushers. We're talking about edge rushers.
Yes.
I mean, we got the Abdul Carters, the Shamar Stewarts, James Pierce, Mike Green. Dude, we got some linemen in there, because he's probably closer to like 10, if anything.
Let's go to the draft board real quick also, because this is round 2. I think it's at least a day 2 guy, and this is round 2. Let me pull up the rankings here. Let me see. Let me see here real quick, just to pull up some. We got. Let me see. We got, of course, Abdul Carter.
Yep.
There's Shamar Stewart, Michael Williams. We got who else we got? I mean, it's going to be
you said Michael Williams, Nick Scranton.
Nick Scorton. Yep, we got James Pierce Jr. We said Mike Green,
Donovan Ezeraku.
Yep, Ezeraku.
So he probably about 8. He probably maybe about 7, 8, somewhere, somewhere in there.
Where you see him going? This is round 2, by the way.
So yeah, I do think he's going to be a round 2 guy. Probably the back end of round 2. So we're talking round 2 is picks 33 through 64, something like that.
Yes.
So
yes.
So I could see him on the back end, definitely on the back end of maybe the late 50s, in the second round.
And just a quick idea of rankings. You got Abdul Carter, Shamar Stewart, Michael Williams, James Pierce Jr., Mike Green, 10 in that range, looking like 7 through 10 range.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, yep,
Okay.
7, 8, 10, somewhere in that range. But yeah, I think he probably goes in the late. He probably goes in the 50s. In the second round.
Looking at the back half of the second round, Texans or Panthers, Texans, Ravens, Lions, Commanders, Bills, Chiefs, and the Eagles. You know those teams would jump on a guy like that.
Oh yeah, the Bills. Listen, and he wouldn't have to be the guy. You know what I'm saying? He would just fall in the rotation. Another and we could all use a high motor guy to put in the rotation. And the Bills being top tier on their defensive line more often than not, nobody's probably gonna be worried about him, which means he's gonna get a lot of one-on-one opportunities.
Well,
Panthers,
Cavante,
you know.
yeah. Final thoughts on Landon Jackson and more profiles to come. Shout out to Alex.
So Landon Jackson is one of those guys who he's not going to jump off the screen. He's going to do a lot of the dirty work. He's a lot of his plays are probably not going to be seen when they first happen. But when you look back at the film, it's like, God damn, he's really working. You probably won't see that initially, but when you look back at the film, you're like, okay, yeah, he does this well, he does this well, he does this well. He's not going to fly off the screen, but he's going to do a lot of the dirty work, a lot of setting the edge, the stuff he's not going to have a whole bunch of stats. So year one is going to be finding himself. I don't think he's going to jump in and like I said, he's not going to take over anything year one. But once he find his footing and find his position, then he'll thrive.
We will keep thriving with these draft profiles here on the Flex Zone with my brother Cavante, the draft guru, on the Flex Zone. We'll be back with more.